Hey guys, Adam Mishan here, singer-songwriter and vocal coach, and today I wanted to go through vowels and how they apply to singing and how we can kind of use them. A beginner's guide to really walk you through step by step how to modify your vowels, do they need to be modified, making sense of the whole picture for you.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
Now, most of you watching this think of vowels as the A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y that we all learn in school. But in actual phonetics, there's actually multiple different vowel sounds. We have the A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y are actually made up of multiple different phonetic sounds. So A, let's say. If you're saying that A vowel, if you listen closely, there's actually two vowel sounds within that A. So if you're saying the word stay, for example, then you actually are working with two vowel sounds. E, stay, stay. So within singing, this is very important because when we're singing, we're actually singing on the vowels. We generally don't hold out our consonants. So if you were singing the word sing, let's say, you wouldn't go sing. Generally, people are not going to sing that way. We'll go sing. We'll hold out that vowel, not the consonant. And this becomes very apparent when we take it over to a song. Oh, say, can you see? I'm not singing. Oh, say, can you see? And holding out any of those consonants, I'm generally holding out the oh, say. I'm holding out a lot of those vowels as I sing through it. Sing any song and you'll notice this exact same trend happen in the context of those songs. So if you're singing happy birthday to you, you're not holding out any of those consonants longer than necessary to just make that sound and keep going. If you want to sing with more confidence and power, then you have to sign up for my lesson subscription. You get 2 group lessons with me personally every single week. You get access to all my courses, and you get access to recordings of all my one-on-one lessons with my students. That will help you learn vicariously through them. Click the link down below to sign up now. Now you're probably asking yourself, why is this important for singing? Well, because in the context of singing, vowels are what actually shape the vocal tract. So depending on the way that you're forming your vowel, your whole instrument is going to be shaped differently. Imagine it like this. If every time you were to do a different vowel, you had to shape, let's say you were playing a flute. So your flute had to change shape all of a sudden. That makes a very big difference how you're going to shape it on the end result of the sound overall. So when we're singing, this is happening all the time. And there are so many different ways that the vocal tract can be shaped and the vowels can be shaped that it's definitely worth studying to be able to get it right, because there's so many possibilities for failure. Now let's talk a little bit about how vowels differ from speech to singing. Because singing is elongated speech, so where we're holding out specific syllables that we don't generally do while we're speaking, the vowels are used differently when it comes into the context of singing. Because they are held out and lengthened, we actually need to be very particular about how we're shaping it. The other thing that throws a chink in this is that when we're singing in a very different dynamic range. The amount of pitch that's involved in our singing, generally we're not talking up here. So we are using much more range when it comes to singing. So with that said, the way that you shape a vowel while speaking it may be slightly different than the way that you shape that vowel while singing it. Let me give you a concrete example so you can hear what I'm talking about. So when I first started singing, and for many of you who are singing out there, if you're going for a high note, this is often what it would sound like. So if I'm taking the phrase, and this is how my mouth is shaped when I speak it, by the dawn's early light, by the dawn's early light. When I would sing it, try trying to hit that high note, it would be by the dawn's early light, by the dawn's early light. So that would be often my approach for singing that high note, but I would be spreading and widening. So notice the difference. By the dawn's early light. Watch how my mouth is shaped. By the dawn's. And that's how most of you will probably try to sing that. If you sang the national anthem, that is probably how you would approach it. So how do we adjust this? Well, we actually need to think about modifying the way that we're approaching it. So if I sang that down lower, by the dawn's early light, it's much easier to keep it closer to the way we speak it because I'm in a range that I normally speak in. But if we're stepping out of that range and we're going to a place that's much higher, then you actually need to work a little bit differently to be able to make sure that the vowels stay the same as opposed to changing drastically. So if by the dawn's early light is how I speak it, we want to try to bring that over into that higher range, but we'll actually need to modify the way that you want to try to do it, right? So the way that most people want to do it is by spreading their mouth wider. We want to try to narrow it down as we go higher. By the dawn's early light. Now this can be overwhelming at first, but what I want you to do is just slowly pick out one vowel at a time and try to sing that vowel through your range while keeping your mouth more narrow. So right now, I want you to go walk over to a mirror and we're gonna go like this. I want you to try to watch your mouth, keep your mouth in that narrow position as you would for an ah. So just say ah as in like coffee, coffee, ah. So I want you to just try to use that vowel and try to keep it in that exact same position. Now, we're going to have to adjust the way your jaw drops. So your jaw is gonna have to drop lower as you go higher in your range, but I wanna see if we can try to keep your mouth from spreading wide as we go up. So first, I want you to do whatever comes naturally to you. Just try to find and watch in the mirror what's happening as you go higher in your range. So if we go, ah, most of you will probably end with that sort of approach, that your mouth will want to go, ah, as you go up higher. Now, if you notice, ah is different than ah, totally different vowels. The sound is very different. So what we want to do is try to keep that more neutral as we go up higher. So watch yourself in the mirror and now try to keep your mouth more rounded, more the way you would do it on ah, coffee, ah, the same way you would approach it while you're speaking. Ah. See how that works and if you're able to do that. Now, if that's too difficult for you, what I want you to try to do is drop down the volume, because the more volume we put into it, the harder it's going to be for the muscles inside the larynx to work on their own. They're going to recruit outside muscles, which is totally unnecessary, and it's going to end up strangling your throat. And that's probably what you're experiencing if that's difficult. So what I want you to do is try to do it at a quieter volume. Ah. And see if you can keep that rounded ah shape the way you would say it as you go all the way through your range. Now, this is much more difficult than it seems. It's going to take a lot of training to be able to do it. But if you do practice this on a regular basis, you're going to notice that it'll be much easier over time. Let's try another vowel. We go E, coffee, E. Try to go with that E vowel without changing the way that your mouth is approaching it. The only thing that we might need to adjust is the position of the jaw. So not the spreading of the mouth, but the position of the jaw. So as I go up, I might need to drop my jaw, but otherwise we want to try to keep everything very level with the way that our lips are spreading. We don't want them to spread too wide into a full smile. So let's try coffee, E, E. Are you able to do that without going E and spreading your mouth and ending up choking off the sound, because that's really what it does. Now let's move on. Try it with an O. So let's go O. We don't want O. That's how most of you are probably going to do it. We want to go O. Are you able to bring that one at a medium to high volume throughout your range? If not, if it's spreading as you go higher, getting louder as you go higher, try to do it quieter all the way through. Oh. are you able to keep it at a quieter volume and still keep the lips from spreading? That's going to be much easier to do and something that you can practice with without straining or pushing your voice. The key is, though, as you're doing it at a quieter volume, to not make it breathy. Try to make it as non-breathy as possible. Now let's try ooh. Ooh. That's how most people are going to do it. We don't want to do that. Is not ooh. We want to try to keep it ooh all the way through. Ooh. And the same thing here. If that is too difficult to slide through your range with, then try to do it at a quieter volume without spreading. Ooh. Are you able to go through a higher range without having to go wide and loud with it? So practice with these vowels in front of a mirror, doing your slides, going through your whole range, and really see how you're able to apply this over to songs. So if you have a song that's going up higher in your range, can you keep the vowel in a similar mouth shape as you go to your higher range, or do you find that you have to spread all the time? So we want to try to keep those vowels a little bit more narrow to avoid having to spread wide and change the vowel in a really uncomfortable and strained type of way. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did and found it informative, please hit the like button down below. If you want to see more videos like this, check out that one right there. You're going to like it.